Students, today we are going to learn about the next part, that is the ECG. ECG means it is electrocardiography. So it is the method to measure the electrical activity of heart. Okay, so ECG is used to measure the electrical activity of the heart. Then what is meant by electrocardiogram? So electrocardiogram is the record of the electrical activity of the heart. Electrocardiogram is the record. Then it is the graphical representation of the electrical activity of the heart during the cardiac cycle. So it gives us the graphical representation of electrical activity of the heart during the cardiac cycle. So to obtain a standard ECG, a patient is connected to the machine with three electrical leads. So one electrical lead is connected to the right wrist, and one is connected to the left wrist, and one is connected to the left ankle. So total number of electrical leads that we are using are 3 to get a standard ECG. But for detailed evaluation for detailed evaluation of the heart activity, multiple leads are attached to the chest region, that is nearly 12 leads. Then if you see the standard ECG will look like this. So it gives us different types of waves like P wave, QRS, and T wave. So each peak in ECG is identified with a letter from P to T that corresponds to specific activity of the heart. Okay, what is meant by P wave? P wave is a positive wave. Okay, so the P wave represents the atrial depolarization. The P wave is representing the atrial depolarization or atrial systole. That means it is the electrical excitation of the atria. So P wave represents the atrial depolarization. Atrial depolarization means atrial systole, which is also called as electrical excitation of the atria. So this leads to the contraction of the both atria. Time taken for P wave is 0.1 second. Time taken for P wave is 0.1 second. Next one is QRS complex. QRS complex represents depolarization of ventricles. So the time taken for QRS complex is 0.08 to 0.1 second. Okay. So QRS complex initiates the ventricular contraction. So QRS complex is initiating the ventricular contraction. The contraction starts, or the ventricular systole begins shortly after the Q wave and marks the beginning of the systole. Okay, ventricular systole begins shortly after the Q wave and marks the beginning of the ventricular systole. So ventricular systole ends at the end of T wave. So ventricular systole is ending at the end of T wave. End of T wave is equal to the end of systole. So you can see here in the diagrammatic representation, this is the end of T wave is equal to the end of ventricular systole. So T wave represents the ventricular repolarization. Okay, T wave represents the ventricular repolarization. It is also a positive wave, and time taken for T wave is 0.2 seconds. 0.2 seconds. So what is meant by ventricular repolarization means it is the return of ventricles from the excited state to the normal state. Okay. Return of ventricles from the excited state to the normal state is called as T wave. So, which is not represented in ECG means atrial repolarization is not represented in ECG. So there are some intervals. Let us see those intervals also. In the diagram, I'll show you the intervals also. There are intervals like PR interval. Okay, PR interval. Next one, QT interval. QT interval. Then ST segment. So where is PR interval is present? PR interval begins with the from here to here PR interval. Okay, the PR interval is present between beginning of the P to beginning of the Q. So PR interval is also called as PQ interval. So what is the time taken for PR interval is, let us see, 0.122 to 0.2 seconds. Then what about the QT? QT interval means beginning of the Q wave to the end of T wave. This is the QT interval. So QT interval time taken is 0.4 seconds. Okay. So QT interval means beginning of QRS complex to the end of T wave. Okay. So what are these intervals? I'll explain right now. Then ST segment. It is a time period between the S wave and the onset of T wave. So this is the ST segment. Okay. ST segment is the onset of S2 it is the end of S wave to the onset of T wave. That is called as ST segment. Okay. Right. Let us see here. During PR interval, what is happening? During PR interval, the atria contract and begins to relax. So at the end of PR interval, the ventricle begins to depolarize. Okay. Then what about the QT interval? QT interval extends from the beginning of QRS complex to the end of T wave, and it represents the length of time required for ventricular depolarization. Okay. So T wave, the ST segment is the isoelectric or zero voltage period. If the ST segment is elevated means it is increasing like this. It indicates myocardial infarction. It indicates myocardial infarction, that is nothing but heart attack. Then there is RR interval. That means this is from 1 hour, and again here the R will be. RR interval is the duration of one cardiac cycle. It is around 0.8 seconds. So these are some extra points about the intervals and also some important points. Right, let us go for the next one. Regulation of heart or regulation of cardiac activity. Normal activities of the heart are auto-regulated by specialized muscle called as nodal tissue intrinsically. So normal activities of the heart are auto-regulated intrinsically. So they are regulated internally. So the heart is called as myogenic heart. So the heart is called as myogenic heart. Then the activities of heart is moderated by autonomous nervous system. All the activities of heart are moderated by autonomous nervous system. So this autonomous nervous system, as you know, that it consists of sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Now what are the functions of sympathetic nervous system? Sympathetic nervous system increases the rate of heartbeat, increases the strength of ventricular contraction, and increases the cardiac output. And also sympathetic nerve endings release norepinephrine. So norepinephrine is a hormone and also acts as the neurotransmitter. So sympathetic nerve endings are releasing the norepinephrine. Then what about the parasympathetic nervous system? Parasympathetic nervous system decreases the heartbeat, decreases the strength of ventricular contraction, decreases the cardiac output. Then parasympathetic nerve endings release a neurotransmitter or a chemical called as acetylcholine. So what happens if the parasympathetic nervous system is not working? So if the parasympathetic nervous system is not working, then acetylcholine is not released. So it cannot reduce the rate of heartbeat, it cannot reduce the strength of ventricular contraction, it cannot reduce the cardiac output also, if the sympathetic nervous system is increasing them. Now let us see the hormonal regulation. So what are the hormones that regulate the heartbeat? So hormones like epinephrine, norepinephrine and thyroxine. Okay. Hormones like epinephrine, norepinephrine and thyroxine means thyroid hormone increases the heart rate by their effect on sinoatrial node. They are increasing the heartbeat by their effect on sinoatrial node. So remember one more point, that if the heartbeat is increasing, that also increases the cardiac output. But if the elevated potassium levels are there, elevated potassium levels, so elevated potassium levels decreases the heartbeat. If the potassium is more, or if there is an elevated potassium levels, then it decreases the heartbeat. Now let us go for the next one, disorders. In the disorders, first let us see the hypertension. Hypertension means high blood pressure. So blood pressure is measured by an instrument called as sphygmanometer. Okay. Normal blood pressure is 120 by 80. 120 means systole, that is the contraction, and 80 means diastole, that is the relaxation of the heart. So systole pressure, that means contraction pressure is 120, and relaxation pressure is 80. Then blood pressure is measured from left brachial artery. So left brachial artery means it is present in the left arm. So blood pressure which is 140 by 90 is called as hypertension or high BP. If the blood pressure is 140 by 90 or higher, 140 by 90 or higher, it is called as hypertension. So what are the disadvantages of hypertension means? High blood pressure leads to heart diseases and also affects the vital organs like brain and kidney. So how to reduce the high blood pressure means you have to reduce the salt intake. Okay, low salt diet is recommended in the case of high blood pressure. If you are eating more salt, then the blood pressure is going on increasing. So next, let us go for the next one, coronary artery disease. Okay, CAD, normally called as CAD. CAD is often called as atherosclerosis. Okay, atherosclerosis. What is the meaning of that? What is CAD? CAD means it affects the blood vessels that supply blood to the heart muscles. CAD is due to accumulation of fat or accumulation of plaque in the coronary blood vessels. So imagine this one as a coronary blood vessel. Here the entire blood vessel is deposited with the plaque. Okay, deposited with the plaque. It is filled up with the plaque. Okay, so what happens? It is completely filled up with the plaque. The blood vessel is blocked with the plaque. So plaque is formed by the deposit of calcium, fat, cholesterol and fibrous tissue. So due to accumulation of plaque, the blood vessel is becoming narrow and it obstructs the flow of blood supply. It obstructs the flow of blood supply. So blood supply is reduced to the coronary, blood supply is reduced to the myocardium. That means that is the muscles of the heart. Next one is arteriosclerosis. It is the hardening and thickening of the wall of arteries. Okay. So why arteriosclerosis occurs means it is due to hardening or calcification of the wall of arteries. So due to hardening and calcification of the wall of arteries increases the blood pressure also. That is called as arteriosclerosis. Next one is myocardial ischemia. What is myocardial ischemia? It is a condition in which blood flow to the myocardium is partially obstructed. Okay, partially obstructed, and it is usually accompanied by angina pectoris. So let us go for the next one, angina pectoris. Angina pectoris means it is acute chest pain appears when enough oxygen is not reaching the heart muscle. So angina pectoris means it is acute chest pain appears when the oxygen is not reaching the heart muscles. That means when the heart when enough oxygen is not reaching to the heart muscle. So why it is happening means due to myocardial ischemia. So I told you that what is meant by myocardial ischemia, right? It occurs in both men and women who are in middle-aged or elderly people. Okay. Next one is myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction or heart attack occurs due to death of heart muscles, which is also called as necrosis. Why death of heart muscles occurs means due to sudden blockage of coronary artery by a blood clot. So you all know that coronary artery means the artery that supplies blood, oxygenated blood to the myocardium. If the coronary arteries are blocked, then it causes heart attack. Then let us go for the next one, heart failure. It is also called as congestive heart failure. It occurs when the heart is not pumping enough blood to meet the daily requirements. So the heart is failing to pump enough blood. It is also sometimes called as congestive heart failure due to congestion of the lungs is one of the main symptoms of this disease. Okay, and remember that heart failure and cardiac arrest is not same. Okay, cardiac arrest means what? Sudden stoppage of the heartbeat. Sudden stoppage of the heartbeat is called as cardiac arrest, and you have to remember the heart attack. Heart attack means the heart muscle is suddenly damaged by an inadequate blood supply. Okay, so this completes about the what we can say body fluids and circulation. The next topic we'll go in the next week, that we'll complete two topics next week, body fluids and circulation, and also musculoskeletal system. So it will be easy for us to complete it fast. Okay, have a nice day. Thank you.